Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called I Couldn't Help It, written by Zalurker.
Sir, all fleet units report successful warp. Adjusting formation.
Check their deployment.
I want a full sweep ECM and visual. The scouts reported the Terran fleet to be using the system as a staging area. Navigation. Confirm your position.
We are approaching the gas giant
Stagia on a retrograde orbit. 30% of inclination. Full sweep stealth protocols.
Targeting. Contact. Multiple targets in orbit around the fourth moon. Spectrum scan shows nominal activity. They haven't spotted us yet. Range.
400 Latniks and closing.
Ship identification shows no large vessels or station.
Perfect.
We move in fast and hard.
Neutralize all active targets. They must be waiting for their replenishment vessels. We take them out and then wait for the next incoming group. Notify fleet. I want a full torpedo array deployed. Rapid strike pattern. What is it? Navigation. 350 Latniks. Weapon range imminent.
Navigation here. Something's not right. Running a full check on the gas giant system. I'm spotting leading and trailing asteroids that are not on the charts.
The scouts must have probably missed them. They are of little consequence. Prepare for the strike.
Should we spin up the fleet vessels, sir, seeing as our shields are still down?
Shields stay down. We don't want them to pick up our signatures. No need for energy weapon protocols. Doesn't look like there is anything with a beam weapon our ablative can't handle. We go in stable and engage after torpedoes with railguns to finish off survivors. It'll be like shooting a swarm of juvenile scan wrecks.
300 Latniks.
Contact. Intermediate scan. Some type of targeting radar. I can't pinpoint it. Check full sweep. How long before we are in range?
Navigation here. This does not make sense.
What are you on about?
The astrogation chart, sir. Something's not right.
What are you on about? Spit it out, man.
The navigation charts and the scout reports do not match. I'm checking now. We lost contact with the advance group.
250 Latniks.
Ship jamming detected. I'm seeing exhaust trails in the Trojans.
Speak to me, people. What is going on?
AW here, energy bloom from the Terran vessels.
Comms. Fleet units reporting impact spectra from the advance group. We're also losing torpedo array. Wait, no. The energy bloom is not from the individual vessels, sir. It's too big. Give me a full overlay in the tactical. All units prepare for emergency jump.
Comms here, unable to contact anyone. ECM reports a massive spread. The entire spectrum switching to line of sight.
Shields up. Notify all remaining ships. We are under attack. Launch full spread set for point detonation. Spin up the ship. We need a full energy weapons protocol. I made a grave mistake.
EW here, active jamming. We can't contact anyone. Trojan asteroids have changed their orbit. Contact imminent. Scopes show the attack cruiser Drago with attempted warp. Something struck its bow. It's gone, sir.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
It was an honor serving with you. Navigation here, sir. The charts now show Stagia has only 3 moons. EW, we're picking up multiple impacts in the fleet itself. Wait. Incoming bogies. Massive energy spike from the 4th moon.
No.
Sir?
That's no moon.
End of story. Story number 2. Playing translation telephone. Written by MarlynnOfMany.
Hi,
I said as the door slid open. Captain Sunline wants to know how your translators are going. Cole sighed. We're going. Which one's a mess? He shook his lizardly head. Brick red scales dull in the light of the doorway. That part of the translation suite was always dim because Tyrell liked looming in the shadows there. But today, she was at the workstation in the back, surrounded by glowing screens and a cloud of irritated hisses.
I think we missed a language,
she announced, snapping her pincher arm and angling her antennae with a scowl. What, really? Coles asked. He ran a hand over his head, scales clicking quietly. How many is that now?
6s,
Trillian hissed. Coles grumbled something I didn't catch and walked back over to the workstation. Curious, I followed and let the door shut behind me. What kind of project is this one? Our records of multi-species colonizing efforts, Coles said from his floating chair with a tail hole. The originals are lost, and all that is left is a jumble that's been translated through a succession of languages, none of which they bothered to write down. And they want us to figure out what the originals actually meant.
Sounds tricky, I said.
Each of the screens held writing, most in languages I didn't recognize. Some were notes in the trade language we all spoke, and I was amused to see how much swearing was in Trilly's notes.
It's very tricky,
Trilly agreed, jabbing a little wrist finger at the screen in the middle.
The grammar doesn't match the words, and the idioms are an utter tar hole. It's anyone's guess what culture came up with some of these details.
I'm pretty sure a bit about rocks are from the strong-arm saying, Coles said. It makes more sense than the Frillian interpretation.
Yes, fine, probably,
Trilly said, with an irritated wave of her pinches.
I'm stuck with this part that goes on a tangent about family arrangements of the wildlife. It's clearly significant, and at least one layer of translation wanted to make sure the full interpretation was spelled out. But that just makes it more confusing.
How so? I asked. I'd gotten the job on the ship because of my animal care knowledge, so maybe I could offer some insights. I appeared at the screen.
This part,
Trilly said,
is a recounting of a colonist's experience in retrieving goods from a shuttle that crashed in a lake. The water creature seemed to have complex social arrangements, and somehow that relates to their behavioral towards this particular colonist.
She folded her pinches and leaned back, glaring at the ancient diary.
Of course, this had to be written by someone disinclined to speak clearly.
What kind of behavior is it? I asked. Are we talking about mating advances, or aggressively protecting the young, or...
Aggressive, Trilly said immediately. This word means mouth, possibly teeth specifically, and in the grammatical arrangement that is currently configured into, it has to be saying that the thing but the colonist.
Coles flipped through the documents on another screen. Do we know what the official name for the creature is? Trilly hissed.
Not even close. That's what this whole tangent is, an attempt at describing it. I'd love to know if it was the original colonist or someone later who decided that it would be helpful to tell us that this creature's ancestors rejected social bonds.
Rejected how? I asked. Coles brought up another document. I've got something on the legal system of the original colony. Sounds like there were multiple types of family arrangements at play. Possibly this colonist was musing on a similarity to their own life.
Trilly hissed. How does that help us? I don't see any accounts of this person's family life, or even their species. We'd have no way to know if their own parents performed the socially accepted rituals or not.
Wait, I said. Is this about the animal's parents not doing a certain ritual, like marriage? Is the colonist calling the fish a bastard? Both of my alien co-workers looked at me. Coles asked slowly, That's an insult in human circles, isn't it?
Yes.
Trilly threw her pinches skyward and stalked away from the workstation.
Of course it is. You people are sentimental about everything, including reproduction. This would have been so much simpler if we'd known from the start that there was a human layer to this.
So, what does it say? I asked. The colonists went into the lake to help with the crash and got bitten by a bastard fish. Trilly was walking in circles, hissing. So Cole scooted in front of the center screen. Going by what we figured out so far, he said, the colonist was trying to move salvage from the shuttle, walking through shallow water. The water creatures were of many bright colors. It goes into detail about that, comparing them to refractive prisms and sea spray. But they kept their distance as long as the colonist kept moving. Pretty sure these parts says one came in for a bite as soon as the colonist stood still. And that's where we go off on an elaborate description of the creature's family arrangements. I grinned. Dear Diary, today I waded through the lake and got bit by a rainbow bastard fish. Terrible experience. Wouldn't recommend. Coles looked closer. It does actually say something like that afterwards, he admitted. There's a suggestion that the next person to enter the water wear protective clothing. Over Trilly's aggravated hissing, I said, that colonist might have been a human. Might indeed, Coles said. He scrolled up a page of notes. That could actually shed some light on a couple other spots, now that you mention it. Trilly appeared beside us. Bring up the part about the colony leader mating with someone's mother. I can tell you right now, that's an insult. The colonist is only complaining about the boss, not describing something that actually happened. Coles looked at Trilly. Told you we need an insult chart. Trilly tilted her head dramatically. That's so much work. shows this, Coles pointed out. How about you take another look at what we've got so far here, and I'll start a list of common human insults. Trilly took a position in front of the screens, hissing quietly. I'll be happy to help, I said, Coles. My people are very creative on that front. So I gather, Coles said. He scooted over to me, digital notepad at the ready. And not one of those insults revolves around eggs. Mind-blowing. Well, I said with the tip of my head, there is a thing about teaching your grandmother to suck eggs. That's kind of an insult. What? Coles said. Never mind. I can tell this is going to be a long list. End of story.
I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.